Hello, welcome back to the channel, thanks for stopping by. And so today we continue our series on checking out the cheap pedals from the dubious side of the internet. Not quite the dark web, but most certainly dubious, and without due care you would lose your credit card details. So, let's get straight into today's video and start looking at the ODrive-II. I don't know much about this pedal, however what I do know is it is from the Vivlex or the Vivlex brand, who had a very successful fuzz pedal recently on this series. So I've got quite high hopes for this pedal. And so without further ado, I think what we'll do is we will get into the opening. So let's get into the desk and the slightly out of focus camera. Okay, so we're over at the desk and we're ready to start the unboxing. So the first thing to note is that this pedal is very similar to the boxes that we've seen before. However, the one thing I do want to bring a note to is it has got a small little sort of break in the box. Doesn't actually mean anything, just shows that maybe this one's had a harder transit than others that we've had. You can also see little sort of nicks and bumps and stuff, so this one's been thrown around. But that's fine. You've got your barcode there. Here is where it states that you've got the Vivlex brand, but other than that, it's a pretty plain box, mini pedal. So, let's get this open, like so. Okay, so there's the pedal. We've got no protective baggie, but that's okay. And then we get our little manual. So if we just have a quick look here, so it's true bypass. Then you've got an LED indicator, gain, level, tone, input, output, and then you've got a mode switch. So hot, it enlarges the output to get a tightened electromagnetical sound, whereas warm is a classic analog overdrive with electronic valve, as you do. So you obviously got two different models. So I'm guessing it's sort of a modern or a vintage. So the toggle switch at the top is how you choose between your warm and hot. Warm is at the bottom, top's at the top. Hot's at the top, sorry. Then you've got your level here, you've got your tone here, and then drive, gain, nicely right in the middle. So as with the Vivlex or Vivlex fuzz, I think you've got quite a cool piece of sort of decoration on the pedal itself. I can't tell what it is, very much like the fuzz, but it looks cool. And you've got a nice die-cast grey kind of finish with this blue overtone. You've got your input here, your output here, and then your 9-volt DC in. True bypass, and that's a proper foot switch, you know. You're going to feel that you've pressed that. So there's your polarity, whatever that means. Still haven't got it wrong to this day, but I should probably learn what that means. Central negative or central positive. But yeah, I don't think there's much to say. It was quite a plain, straightforward box, no baggy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick second break, and we'll get this plugged into an amp with a guitar, and let's see how this sounds. Okay, so we are back, set up, and we're ready to go. Pedal cam's ready, pedal set up, and so we'll see how this pedal sounds. Very quickly, as we always do, let's just reference the other gear that we're using today. So we're using my faithful Gibson Explorer. Now this one's been not out of service for a little while, but it needed a setup. Just had a few little niggly issues, so it's just kind of sat in the rack for a while. This has all been set up and is now ready to go, ready to fire on all cylinders. One of the differences compared to the other videos is we are in standard now. And this is strung with 10 to 46 rather than my standard 10 to 52 when we're in E flat. So this is all stock, so you've got a set of burst buckers in here, and it's part of the Antique Natural run from 2018. I think until 2022-23, when it changed a little bit in terms of the series, and I think the pickups might have changed. So we're going from this, going into the ODrive-II, and from there we're going straight into the front of the Victory Jack, and that's on the crunch channel, but we're running it at the edge of breakup, so the clean tone sounds a little bit like this. So you can hear that there's some breakup, you can hear that it's, we're pushing the valves a little bit, but we're not in full fat distortion or overdrive as of yet, or at least how I would normally play. So without further ado, let's get rid of the mic, let's turn the pedal on, and let's see how she sounds. do we make of the Vivlex ODrive-II? Interesting pedal. I think it needs tweaking really to bring out the best of it. I felt like it had the ability within this pedal to sound really great, really good if you integrate it into your setup properly. Which I've probably not done in this 5-minute clip. Now, what I mean by that is the hot and warm settings. I don't know if it carries across, but certainly in the room, there were stark differences in the EQ set for each tone. And I know it says, you know, in the manual about it, you know, putting more signal through and really making a compressed, modern, hot sound, which I guess hot kind of it is hot. It's very hot as a signal. But if your amp is not set correctly, or you pair this with a really hot set of pickups, really high output set of pickups, I think what you'll find is that it's going to very quickly, I think it did a couple of times, without really going to the neck pickup either, it very quickly moves into that fuzz collapsing over high gain overdrive collapsing in on itself that I don't think sounded very good. At the time, I felt like that's not what this pedal is intended for. So it didn't handle that really well. Again, I think you could negate that with maybe having something with low output pickups and EQing your amp. If you know how this is going to sound on an overdrive, you EQ your amp so that if this is your main drive, that doesn't do that. I think the issue with that is if you then wanted to mid-set flick over to your warm setting, the EQ and the level difference is so opposite ends of the spectrum. It just wouldn't. If you took all of that bass out, or you had the tone rolled all the way up for the hot sound, if you then go across to your warm sound, it becomes very harsh, not nice tones at the forefront of the you know, the sound. So I think that there are a couple of issues that this pedal struggles with, and are certainly downfalls. However, I think the warm sound was really nice. Again, you dial that in appropriately with level gain and tone. I think it's going to be a great mild to low gain sound, and it's really going to add something to your rig if you don't have a pedal like a Tube Screamer or your SD1. Don't know where mine's gone. You know, that sort of low gain clon style pedal. If you don't have one of those, I'm not saying that this is one of those, but I think this is going to add those kinds of flavors that you might feel that you're missing. But yeah, running this both settings in the same set, I don't think you're going to manage to do it without some serious EQ work post these two. The pedal. But overall, if it's a pedal that you're setting and you're sticking on your board, again, from a quality point of view, this is built like a small tank. Probably throw it at the wall and it would still work. It's going to survive the tours, the rigors of touring. Maybe not a tour, but certainly gigging locally or playing in your room. I think it's going to be a great little thing. And I've just realised that I have forgotten to say how much this was. This was £11. A couple of weeks ago, I forgot I bought this one. It took that long to arrive, but it was £11. So again, it's an £11 overdrive pedal. Sounds great, and it would do the job if that's what you wanted it to do. Just be aware that running both sets within the same set, you're going to run into some sound issues, I think. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Was there one side that sounded better to you than the other? Or have I flown through this too quickly? Because I am trying to condense the videos a little bit, just for viewers' pleasure. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought. If you liked anything you heard, or you particularly like this video, don't forget to hit the like button below. And if you are feeling really zesty on the 9th of May, then maybe just hit the subscribe button. We are slowly gaining people that are joining the journey, especially the journey into the cheap, dubious side of pedals. But anyway, thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and until the next one, take care.